I-pause ko na yung recording. Okay, so we'll be discussing piercing points. And let's start. So objectives natin for today. After this session, you should be able to recognize real-life problems that require the identification of the point of intersection between a segment and the plane. Also, you should be able to determine whether a segment intersects a plane or not. You should be able to locate the intersection of a segment and a plane if it exists. Also, you should be able to draw the correct visibility of overlapping segments and planes. Dito sa objectives natin, para lang meron kayong idea, actually yung pag-locate natin kung nasan yung piercing point is only half of the problem. Yung drawing the correct visibility, usually that's also 50% of what you're being asked. So, hindi pwedeng hanggang pag-locate lang tayo ha. Kailangan pati yung visibility makuha natin later on. Simulan natin. Let's discuss some basic concepts about piercing points. Piercing point is the term used, dapat siya may D, term used to describe the point of intersection of a plane and a line or segment. So for this certain example, I have here a plane without a name and I have a segment AB. So kung mapapansin nyo, tinusok ng AB yung plane. So this is what we call the piercing point. Next bullet, a segment and a plane may have either 0 or 1 piercing point. This is applicable if the segment is not on that plane. Meaning, kung yung plane mo, hindi siya nakalapat mismo dun sa plane. Siyempre, kapag nakalapat yung segment mo dun sa plane, then all of those points on your line are also on your plane. So, hindi na siya 0 or 1. Yung 0 na intersection, dito sa figure natin, ang example niya is yung EF. So, kung titignan natin, EF, from our perspective, is behind the plane. So, it does not intersect the given plane. Also, segment CS is in front of the plane. So, similarly, hindi rin niya na-intersect yung ating plane. So, for the third bullet, a piercing point is the location where the segment changes its position relative to the plane it pierces. When we say relative position, either behind or in front of the plane. So kung babalikan natin yung example na segment AB, you will notice here that somewhere along the line, so somewhere along the segment AB, specifically in this point, a portion of it is in front from our perspective. So mas nakikita natin itong portion na to ng segment AB. However, there are portions of AB that are behind the plane. So, hindi natin siya nakikita. Assuming na completely opaque itong plane natin. So, yan yung mamayang i-address natin dun sa tinatawag nating visibility. Okay, determine whether a segment and a plane intersect. So we have two methods, and the name of those methods, if I remember them correctly, invento ko lang yung terminology para may pang-refer lang ako. So I'm not really sure if these are the proper name for those methods. So I named them edge view method and cutting plane method. Edge view method. This technique requires the construction of a reference plane where the given plane will be in edge view. Hence, edge view method. The intersection of the segment and the edge view on that reference plane is the piercing point. So mamaya, papakita natin yan. Yung cutting plane method naman, this technique requires the construction of an imaginary cutting plane in edge view that contains the segment. So after that first sentence, ang gusto kong sabihin dito sa cutting plane method, we need to create a new element. In this case, it's an imaginary cutting plane. Dun sa edge view method kasi, you don't need to create additional elements bukod dun sa kung ano yung given sa'yo, which is isang line or segment at saka yung plane lang. Dito sa cutting plane method, you need to draw an additional element. The intersection of the cutting plane and the given plane will intersect the segment at the piercing point. Ayan. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, kapag yung cutting plane natin, di ba kapag meron kang dalawang planes, if they intersect, ang intersection niya will form a straight line. Di ba? So, yung line na yon, yung line of intersection, which is nasa susunod pa nating topic, it will intersect your line, yung given line mo, and kapag nag-intersect yung line mo at saka yung intersection ng dalawang planes, then malolocate mo yung piercing point. Though this method is not as simple as the edge view method, it can locate the piercing point without drawing additional views. So merong mga pros and cons itong dalawang method. Una, si edge view method, hindi natin ang pro dito, simple siya, hindi natin kailangan mag-add ng element. However, we need to add a reference plane. Ayan, requires the construction of a reference plane. So, ibig sabihin, kapag merong instruction na with, let's say sa instruction may nakasulat, without using additional reference plane, find or locate the piercing point. Definitely, you cannot use the edge view method na. Diba? So, yun yung advantages and disadvantages ng edge view method. Si cutting plane naman, yung kabaliktaran niya. Sa cutting plane method, we are required to draw additional element. In this case, yung imaginary cutting plane. Pero, in this case, we don't need to draw additional reference plane. So, ibig sabihin, kung ano yung dalawang view na given tayo, we can already work on them. And we can find the location of the piercing point. So, yun yung difference itong dalawang method. Let's proceed. And we will discuss edge view method. So, basically, one slide lang ang inalat ko for edge view method kasi wala namang kailangan i-discuss dito eh. Ano bang nangyari dito sa edge view method? So, meron tayo, basta kayo na lang mag-check nito, no? Alam nyo naman na yan. Explain ko na lang yung drawing. So, meron tayong AC dito sa HRP na parallel sa FRP. Then, that will become true length in AC. And then, we draw ARP1 perpendicular to AC which is in TL. Therefore, AC will become point view. Dapat may PV na nakasulat dyan. And then, consequently, ABC will become edge view. Then, nakuha na natin yung edge view method. So, kapag pinroject din natin yung 1, 2 dito sa ARP1, we can see that the line or the segment 1, 2 and the plane ABC intersects here. So, dito sa nakikita natin sa point X. Now, take note that point X lies along 1, 2. Kasi kung intersection siya ng ABC at saka nung 1, 2, ibig sabihin, X is both on the plane and on the line. So, kapag pinroject natin siya pabalik, kailangan nating hanapin yung point in space kung saan masasatisfy yung requirement na dapat si X nandun sa plane at nandun sa line. So, dito natin siya nilagay. Actually, dapat may nakasulat dito X, no? Yan, dapat may X dyan. Dapat may X dito. So, X is here because it's on the plane and it's also on the line. So, yan na. Ito na yung piercing point natin. Then, ito, po-project lang natin, pataas. Hanapin lang natin siya along segment 1, 2. Then, we can already find point X. Note muna natin before we proceed. The drawing is not yet complete. When I say it's not yet complete, kung papansin ninyo, gray itong line or yung segment na nag-overlap dun sa plane ABC. Naka-gray pa siya, no? Wala naman tayong gray na, well, technically gray yung pencil nyo, pero hindi pa natin nasusulat yung correct visibility. Hindi pa natin napapakita kung nasa harap ba siya or nasa likod ng plane. So let's go to the chat. Sir, necessary po bilugan yung piercing point? Yes, necessaryong bilugan yung piercing point sa mga views kung saan hindi edge view yung plane. For example, dito sa ARP1, kung papansin niyo, hindi na siya binilugan. Kasi obvious na kung nasan yung piercing point. Mamaya, i-discuss ko yan. Mayroon akong slide na mayroong reminder that you should encircle yung inyong location ng piercing point. Thank you for that reminder. And we will proceed with the next method. I'm not dealing with the edge view method anymore kasi sobrang dali lang niya, di ba? Okay. Now let's go to the cutting plane method. So this is the same example. Pero dito, para mas maintindihan ninyo, nag-drawing ako, in-attempt ko no, na mag-drawing ng box enclosing our figure. So you will see them in real space para mas maintindihan natin kung ano ba yung given view natin. So kung papansin niyo, kung meron tayong front view, ito yung PRP, di ba? So ito yan. Ay, sorry, dapat F to. Hala, mali-mali. This should be F. FRP. So this is FRP. So this is your FRP, yan. And nasa taas yung HRP. Para lang mas maintindihan natin, ganyan siya nakikita sa HRP, di ba? So AC here is parallel to HRP, to PRP rather. And then one is here, two is here. So ganito yung nakikita natin sa taas. Ito, tsaka ito, pareho lang yan. Tapos ito nakikita natin mga projection line from point A papunta dun sa HRP. Ito yan, point A papunta dun sa HRP. Kita nyo? Tapos, yung nasa front view naman ay yung projection ng mga points in 3D space papunta sa FRP. So for example, yung projection ng 1 papunta sa FRP, ito yung line na yun, yung projection. Ito yan. Ito yan. Ito, saka to. So yung projection ng B, ito, pag ganon, ito, pag ganyan. So kalakalahati, no? Siyempre, pag pinagdugtong nyo to, tsaka yung nasa kabila, which is this one, then makukuha nyo yung projection line na magkadugtong na siya. So, bakit ko to pinapakita? Kasi, importante to para maintindihan nyo kung bakit nag-work yung method. Okay? Yung cutting plane method. At saka nasan yung cutting plane. So, let's proceed. First step is to draw a plane such that it will become an edge view in one of the reference plane. In this certain example, I made the plane P. So, ito yung sinasabi natin na gagawa ko ng bagong element. No? In this case, the element, I named it plane P. If you would like to name it plane ABCD, plane MNOP, bahala kayo. Actually, pwedeng wala ring name eh. Pero baka mahirapan kayo sa paggawa ng notation pag walang pangalan. Or pwede sigurong plain na lang pangalan. I don't know. Let me check muna kung ano yung chat. Sir, okay lang na isang letter lang yung label sa plane? Yes. In geometry, we can use a single letter for a plane. Okay. So ulitin natin, no? So ang ginawa natin, sabi natin dito sa notation, at HRP, plane P is in edge view. So I made a plane, dugtong ko na to. 1, 2 lies on plane P. So, ibig sabihin, gumawa ako ng plane na vertical. This is vertical kasi nakikita natin na edge view siya from the horizontal reference plane. So, pag ganyan yung itsura niya, this is my plane P. Okay? Hindi natin makikita dito yan. Kasi naka-edge view nga eh. Actually, plane P coincides with line 1, 2 in this view. Right? Tapos naka-edge view siya dyan. Okay? So, in 3D, meron na siyang, may intersect niya yung plane ABC. Plane P will intersect plane ABC. Okay? Pero, since naka-edge view yung ating plane P dito, hindi natin alam kung nasan yung, nakikita nyo ba to? Hindi natin alam kung nasan tong line na to, yung intersection ng green na plane at saka ng blue na plane. So, yan yung actually hanapin natin. So, okay, ayan. Nagkaroon ng ang daming nangyari, no? Anong nangyari? Makikita natin from the top view na yung edge view ng ating plane P, which is also represented by the line 1, 2, it will intersect AB at point X. So, di ba? Nakita nyo to? Ito yung side AB ninyo, di ba? And the plane P intersects that side at point X. So, pakikita nyo siya sa top view, andun siya. AB, ito yung plane, andun yung point X. Similarly, point Y is here. So, that is the intersection of side BC and point Y. Kaya, meron ka dito sa HRP, intersection of AB and plane P is X. Intersection of BC and plane P is Y. Okay? Tama, nasusundan ba kung nasan to? Kung bakit nakita natin to dito? So may X ka dito, may Y. Ito hindi nyo naman to idodrawing sa plate nyo. Ito lang makikita ninyo. Gusto ko lang maintindihan ninyo na kapag sinulat nyo dito yung X at saka Y, ito ibig sabihin niya. Yan. Okay? So once na nakuha nyo na kung nasan yung X and Y, ano nga uli yung property ng Y? Ng XY. X lies along AB, right? Kasi andito siya sa may between points A and B. So nandito siya sa line AB or segment AB. On the other hand, Y lies along BC. So si Y nandito siya. Ano pa? XY lies on plane P. Kasi kung si XY ay intersection ng plane ABC at saka ng plane P, therefore XY is on plane P. At the same time, it is on plane ABC. Gets ba yun? So kaya meron tayo dito. Actually, itong part na itong XY lies on plane P, XY lies on ABC, gusto kong isusulat nyo siya dyan para hindi nawawala sa isip nyo na yes, dahil ginawa natin siyang intersection, it is an element, XY is an element of both planes P and ABC. So, anong susunod natin gagawin? We already know where X is in top view. Then, gawin natin, project natin yung plane, yung point X at saka yung point 1 sa front view. Okay? Ano magiging itsura niya? Ganyan yung magiging itsura niya. Nung pinroject natin yung X, we know that point X lies along AB. So kapag tinignan natin siya, pag pinroject natin yung paganyan, we will locate point X such that it is between point A and B. So X is here. Similarly, Y should be between points B and C kasi ito yung BC natin. So ito yung Y. Pag pinroject natin, dapat nasa pagitan siya ng points B and C. Ito naman siya. So ito yung Y. Then this is your XY. Okay? So, sabi natin, XY and 1, 2, yung intersection nila, that is your piercing point. Bakit? Ibalik ko lang yung slide para mas malinaw, no? So yan, kung makikita ninyo, dahil yung plane P, kapareho niya ng orientation yung line 1, 2. So, ibig sabihin, XY, sabi natin, no, XY is an element of plane P. 1, 2 is an element of plane P. Diba? Sabi natin before, I hope you can still remember, ang mga lines sa isang plane can never be skew. Kasi kung may skew lines ka doon, magiging warp siya, diba? But since this is a complete or a true plane na flat, then kapag meron kang hindi parallel na lines, automatically they will intersect. So, ibig sabihin, 1, 2, and XY will intersect. And that point is the piercing point. In this case, I named my piercing point at point Z. Sometimes, merong instructions na ang pinalalagay nilang label for the piercing point ay PP. P.P or PP, I don't know, piercing point. Ako mas gusto kong gawin siyang totoong point. Okay? So dito, meron akong point Z. And point Z is the piercing point. So, ginawa natin, we projected XY sa FRP. This should be FRP kasi FRP to. Okay? At FRP, we intersected xy and 1, 2 at point Z. So yun. Intersected xy and 1, 2, that should be your point Z. Z lies on 1, 2, and Z lies on xy. Also, Z lies on ABC. So if Z lies on ABC and on 1, 2, therefore, it is the intersection of 1, 2, and ABC. So ito na siya. Intersection of 1, 2, and ABC is Z. Note, ito yung kaninang reminder, no? Draw a small circle to indicate that the point is a piercing point. However, in the reference plane where the plane is shown in edge view, no need to encircle the piercing point. Okay? So, in this case naman, pareho namang hindi edge view yung ABC. Hindi rin edge view to. So, we need to draw the circle. Yung hindi natin required drawing ng circle for the piercing point kapag nag-edge view yung ABC. Saan yun? Dun sa edge view method. Dito sa method na to, well, you need to draw your circle. Okay, so we already know where point Z is in your front view. So, it follows that we should project this point Z para makita naman natin siya sa HRP. Okay? That is the intersection of 1, 2, and XY. So, ibig sabihin, point Z should be along 1, 2. Note again that this drawing is not yet complete because we haven't shown the correct visibility yet. Na-identify pa lang natin yung piercing point. So at this point, tapos na ang discussion ng pag-determine kung nasaan ang location ng piercing point. Do we have questions, clarifications regarding this topic before I proceed to the correct visibility? Let me know sa chat kung naiintindihan or kung may question. Wala. No comment. Hindi nyo naiintindihan? Please respond, guys. Thank you. Okay, so walang questions, si Vince. Clear. Okay, thank you. Sige. Meron na, ayan, 3. Thank you. Kailangan yung mag-respond, guys, kasi ang assumption ko, kapag wala akong nakikita dun sa chat, someone is still typing the question and I will wait for that question to be shown in the chat. Diba? Kasi hindi ko alam, baka bigla ako mag-proceed, yung pala nagta-type pa yung may tanong. So, kailangan malaman ko kung you're not really typing. Okay. Thank you for that. Let's now proceed to drawing the correct visibility. Yeah, since most of you wala naman ng tanong. Thank you, ha. Okay. Before I proceed, ito pa pala, no? Kanina, ang ginawa natin, gumawa tayo ng imaginary cutting plane na nag-edge view sa top view, di ba? That's one of the correct solutions, no? So another correct solution is instead of drawing the imaginary plane as edge view in top view, pwede natin gawin na i-drawing natin siya sa front view as edge view. So ganito yung itsura niya. Yung plane na green magiging ganyan. Same lang din yung mangyayari. Magkaiba nga lang yung makukuha nating line. Instead of XY, this will become another segment, PQ, for example. So ito yung PQ, intersection ng plane P, yung imaginary plane or yung cutting plane and the given plane ABC. So, let's now proceed to visibility of lines. Take note first that the determination of correct visibility is done for every view. Gusto kong i-emphasize ito, no? Ulitin ko lang. lagi siyang gagawin for each view. Anong ibig kong sabihin dito? Sometimes, most common error ng estudyante, kapag nakuha niya yung correct visibility sa top view, ang ginagawa niya, kinokopya niya lang yung visibility sa top view, tapos tinatransfer niya dun sa isa pang view. That is incorrect. Kasi the appearance of or relative position of the planes as seen from the top view, from one view, is different and independent from how it will be seen from another view. So kailangan, yung method na ipapakita ko sa inyo, gagamitin natin siya, uulitin natin siya for every view that you have. Let's say, kunyari, meron kang 2 views. Then, dalawang beses mong gagawin yun. Let's say you have 3 or more views. Then, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo siyang gawin sa lahat ng views na yun para makuha mo yung correct visibility for each of those views. Another note is, a segment located behind the plane is represented by a broken line. So kapag nakakita kayo ng broken line sa piercing point and sa LOI in the future topic, ibig sabihin nito, yung line na yon is behind a plane. Okay? So kapag nag-overlap ang plane at saka ang line, and the line is behind the plane as seen from that reference plane, then we represent it as a broken line. This is what a broken line looks like. Okay. So, tignan natin yung mga possible na scenarios pagdating sa visibility of lines. So, kung titignan natin sa front view, dito, ang ginawa ko, si edge view na ABC, yung plane, mas mataas siya compared sa 1, 2 in terms of elevation. So, ibig sabihin, pag tinignan ko siya sa top view, mas nakikita ko yung plane ABC compared sa 1, 2, di ba? Ibig sabihin, there's a portion of 1, 2 that will be behind, in this case, below ABC. That's why it's broken line here. Okay? On another example, if I place 1, 2, mas mataas naman compared sa ABC na edge view dito. Dapat pala, no, kung, ay hindi, tama. Kung nasa taas siya, then I can see the whole length of segment 1, 2 to be on top of ABC. So, from point 1 hanggang point 2, solid line dapat yan. Pakitandaan that a plane cannot be hidden behind a line. Anong ibig ko sabihin dyan? A plane cannot be hidden behind a line. Ibig sabihin, kahit merong line sa harap, ang plane mo, solid lang yan. Okay? Kasi ang line mo, two-dimensional lang yan eh. Two-dimensional ba to? One-dimensional. Okay. Isang dimension lang siya pag ganun. So, ibig sabihin, walang hidden line na mangyayari for the plane, ha? Okay. So, ito yung mga cases kung saan wala tayong piercing point. The line is completely on the other side with respect to the plane. Tignan naman natin tong example na to, no? In this case, ABC here, 1, 2 is here. So kung mapapansin niyo, yung portion ng 1, 2 na mas malapit sa 1, okay? When I say mas malapit sa 1, ito yon. Ito yung portion ng 1, 2 na mas malapit sa 2. Yung mas malapit sa 1, mas mataas compared dun sa plane. Therefore, pag tinignan natin siya sa top view, yung portion ng segment na mas malapit sa 1, yun yung visible. Tapos, from the piercing point, papunta dun sa boundary ng plane, that should be hidden. Sir, ito, bakit solid? Ibig sabihin ba nito mas mataas siya kaysa sa plane? Hindi. Ang ibig sabihin nito, hindi siya natatakpan ng plane. Okay? So, natatakpan. Hindi yan natatakpan. Okay? So, basta natatapos ang broken line kung saan wala nang naka-overlap sa kanya. This will become a problem kapag marami ka ng planes. Okay? Hindi ko pa siya i-discuss ngayon. Probably in the future pa. Pero, yun nga. Tsaka na natin pag-usapan. On another case, dito naman, kung papansinin natin, binago ko yung orientation ng ABC. Okay? In this case, yung mas malapit naman sa 1, na portion ng 1, 2, yun naman yung nasa ilalim ng ABC. Tapos yung nasa taas ng ABC is yung portion ng segment na mas malapit sa 2. Hence, from the piercing point, ang solid natin would be the portion that is near to the side of point 2. Then ito yung hidden line here. And then this will be your unobstructed portion of segment 1, 2. So yan. Madami pang cases. Okay, so let me just check the chat. Sir, paano po malalaman kung alin yung nasa harap and yung nasa likod po? Wala pa. Yeah, pupunta pa lang tayo doon. Pinapakita ko pa lang kung paano yung mga possible na scenario natin. Okay. So dito, kung papansinin nyo yung unang dalawa, no? Unang dalawa. Pansinin nyo yung HRP. Magkamukha, di ba? Magkamukha yung HRP niya. So, hidden, solid. Ito din, hidden, solid. However, if you look at the respective FRP, ito, hidden, solid, pero dito, solid, hidden. Anong gusto kong iparating dito sa inyo? Ibig sabihin, kapag nag-hidden yung kaliwang side, tapos solid to, yung kanyang other view, pwedeng ganun din, hidden, solid, pero there is also a possibility na solid, hidden siya. That's why, ang sinasabi ko sa inyo, pag nakuha niyo yung visibility sa isang view, you need to repeat the process for the other view. Don't just copy the visibility from one view, then transfer it. Ay, hidden solid dito. So, dapat si hidden solid din dito. Mali yun. Kasi pwedeng ganito. So, this pair here, ganun din yung gusto kong sabihin. Okay? Sana malinaw tayo, no? Now, ayaw niyang next. Ayan. So, ito na yung pag-draw natin ng correct visibility. Paano natin malalaman kung alin yung mas mataas or alin yung nasa harap, nasa likod, nasa taas, nasa baba? Depende, no? Dito, ang gawin natin, ito yung example natin kanina, no? Na wala pang visibility. Kunin natin yung visibility ng nandito sa HRP, which is yung top view. Kung titignan natin sa 3D space, obvious na yung side ng mas malapit sa 1, yung mas kita kesa dun sa side na nandun sa 2. However, sabi ko nga, hindi nyo naman ito nakikita. Ang nakikita nyo lang dito. Okay? So, paano natin ma-check kung sino ang visible or hindi? We need to compare the lines at that intersection. Anong ibig sabihin? Nakikita nyo dito, itong intersection na to, diba, yung boundary ng plane, it seems that nag-overlap yung portion ng 1, yung portion ng 1 to mas malapit sa 1, ito, at saka yung side AB. Tama? Ngayon, titignan nyo siya pababa. Kung ano yung una nyong makitang element between the two, anong una nyo makikita? 1, 2, or AB? Kung sino yung una nyo makita, ibig sabihin siya yung nasa mas malapit sa inyo. So kung siya yung mas malapit sa inyo, that would be the visible part. In this case, nung pinroject natin tong point na to, it will intersect or makikita nyo dito yung 1, 2 before nyo makita yung AB. Tama ba? So ibig sabihin, from this point up to the piercing point, visible yung line. Kasi mas mataas yung line compared dun sa plane. Let me check the chat. Sir, pwede pakiulit po? Yes. So, ang ginagawa natin ngayon, we are checking the visibility of top view. I-rephrase ko para meron tayong iba pang perspective. Yung point in contention natin ay itong length na to. Itong from here hanggang dito. Ang ibig ko sabihin, ito kasing from here hanggang dito, sure na tayong solid dyan, di ba? Kasi wala namang naka-overlap na plane dyan. Ganon din dito, from here hanggang dito, walang naka-overlap dyan, so sure tayong itong nandito, solid yan. Ang pwede lang maging hidden ay from here hanggang dito. Okay? So, ang i-check natin, itong side na to. Kapag sinabi nating side na to, yung, di ba sabi ko sa inyo kanina, meron akong nabanggit dun sa slide natin na yung piercing point, this is the point where the visibility or the relative position of the line changes with respect to the plane. So, ibig sabihin, sa piercing point na to, dyan magbabago yung visibility. So, kapag pumunta ako sa kaliwa, that should be completely solid or completely hidden. Then, kapag pumunta ako dun sa kabilang direction, kabaliktaran yung makikita natin. So, paano gagawin natin? Titignan natin yung boundary ng plane. Okay? So, dito nakikita natin yung AB. And dito sa intersection na to, it intersects, as seen from the top view, AB intersects 1, 2. Diba? Ito yan. AB intersects 1, 2. Then ngayon, tingnan mo yung projection line ng point na yan. And i-check mo, ano ang unang tatamaan ng projection line mo? 1, 2 or AB? In this certain scenario, una niyang matatouch itong 1, 2, di ba? Yan, matouch niya yung 1, 2. Bago niya, kapag in-extend mo pa, bago niya matouch yung AB. So, ibig sabihin, as seen from top view, 1, 2 is visible compared to AB. That's why, from this point, hanggang dun sa piercing point, solid yung part ng 1, 2. Vince, pwede mo ba akong bigyan ng feedback kung mas malinaw or kung ano man? And not only Vince, the rest of you, kung may tanong kayo, this is the perfect venue for you to ask habang maaga. Intindihan ba kung ano yung gusto kong sabihin? Kung paano nangyaring solid itong part na to? Okay, okay na po ako sa part na yun, sir. Okay, so ngayon, sabi natin, na-identify na natin na solid to, and nabanggit natin na sa piercing point, nagbabago ang visibility. Ibig sabihin na nagbabago yung visibility, sir, may question po ako na sinem. Nasaan? Yun. Sorry. Natabunan. Sir, to check the visibility po on a view, i-check po siya on the adjacent view. Ipo-project mo yung point of intersection dun sa kabilang view to check kung ano yung unang matatamaan ng projection line. Okay, Vince? Okay. So yan, going back. Solid, kung may piercing point, dapat yung kadugtong niya magbabago ng visibility. So kung na-identify natin to as solid, then this is automatically hidden. Kahit hindi na natin i-check, we already know that this is hidden. Okay, so ito na yung visibility niya. Now, sir, what if kung hindi ako sa X tumingin or hindi ako sa AB tumingin, dito ako tumingin sa BC. Dito, kunyari, reset natin, no? Hindi mo pa alam yung visibility. Ito yung pinili mong i-check kung visible ba siya or hidden. Ganun pa din. So, in this point, 1, 2 intersects BC. So, we will project this intersection and we will check on the other reference plane kung sino yung unang tatamaan ng projection line. Kung papansinin nyo dito, ang unang tatamaan niya ay BC, di ba? Ito, BC muna yung tatamaan niya bago niya matamaan yung 1, 2. So, ibig sabihin, from this point hanggang dun sa piercing point, hidden. Consistent, di ba? So, ibig sabihin dito, regardless kung saan ka magsimula, sa Y or sa X, pareho lang ng magiging sagot. Now, pag iba yung sagot na nakuha mo upon checking, then there's something wrong in your analysis. Another question. Let's say, kunyari, Kunyari, hindi lang dalawang view yung given. Let's say, meron ka pang isa pang view dito. May isa ka pang reference plane. Mag-change ako ng pen. Let's say, kunyari, meron akong reference plane dito. Kunyari, this is ARP1. Okay? Sir, kung meron akong isa pang reference plane dyan, pwede bang dito ko tignan? Kunyari, complete yung pagkakadrawing dito, no? Pwede bang dito ko tignan yung kung sino yung unang matatouch nung projection line? Okay lang din. Kasi, well, kung ano yung measurement nito, I mean from here hanggang dito, yun lang din naman yung measurement dito. Tapos ito, hanggang dito, yun lang din yung nandito. So, ibig sabihin, kahit sa ang reference plane ko i-project, yung point of intersection na yun, pareho pa rin yung makukuha kong result, whether visible siya or hidden. Okay? So, let me go to the chat. Sir, hindi na po need mag-drawing ng construction lines para ma-check yung visibility. No need. Kahit tapat mo lang yung ruler mo, dyan, tapos tignan, actually, kahit hindi mo itapat eh. Kasi madali namang makita. Dito, Y. Pag tumingin ako dito, una ko nakita yung BC, bago ko nakita yung 1, 2. Ibig sabihin, visible ang part ng, mas visible ang BC, therefore, mas visible ang plane compared sa 1, 2. Therefore, hidden ang 1, 2. Okay? Again, pagdating sa piercing point, dapat mag-change ang visibility. Kapag hindi yan nag-change, ibig sabihin, hindi siya nag-intersect. That's what you are trying to say. Kung solid-solid, kung hidden yan, ibig sabihin, line 1, 2 is completely below ABC, and hence, dapat wala kang piercing point. So, ulit, pag may piercing point, dapat magbago ang visibility nung portion ng segments mo. Okay. As I have mentioned earlier, since nagawa na natin yung visibility dito, we need to repeat that process dito naman sa baba. Huwag niyong kokopyahin lang basta-basta na solid hidden kasi it could be different. Paano naman gagawin natin? Ganun pa din. So, ang gagawin natin, tignan natin yung intersection. Saan yung gusto magsimula? Sa P or sa Q? O di, simulan na natin sa P. Okay? Kung sa P, titignan natin, I'm checking the intersection of 1, 2, and AB. I'll draw a projection line. And then, I will check whether the projection line intersects 1, 2 or AB. 1, 2 muna yung na-intersect niya bago sa AB. Hans, balikan ko yung question mo. So, going back. Ulit, intersection nitong AB and 1, 2, project natin, una niyang nakita or na-intersect si 1, 2 bago si AB. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, sa view na to, 1, 2 is more visible or mas nasa front compared sa line AB. Therefore, dapat solid to. This part should be solid. From this point up to this piercing point, this should be solid. I-erase ko lang muna kasi meron akong gustong i-highlight sa inyo. Yeah. Nung pinroject natin siya, or ako lang pala yung nag-project, nung pinroject ko siya, baka kasi malito kayo, no? You are comparing or you are checking side AB and 1, 2. You are not literally, at least for this method, you are not comparing ABC and 1, 2 so far. Kasi baka ang tignan nyo, ay nakita niya yung AC. So ibig sabihin ABC is in front. Hindi ganun yun ha. You need to you need to consider kung ano yung side ng plane at saka yung line. Eh, ang nag-intersect dito is AB and 1, 2. So, ang i-compare nyo ngayon is itong 1, 2 at saka itong AB. Not necessarily any other part nung ABC. So, I'm hoping na malinaw na sabi ko naman kung ano yung point na gusto kong sabihin. So, this is solid. And it goes to say na ito ay hidden. So kung dito naman tayo nag-start, let's check kung tama ba na hidden dapat to. So this point is intersection of AC and 1, 2. So let me check kung ano yung una niya makikita. Kita niya yung AC bago niya makita yung 1, 2. Therefore, AC is more visible compared to 1, 2. Therefore, ABC is on top of 1, 2 sa side na to. And dahil nasa taas yung ABC, nasa ilalim yung 1, 2. Dahil nasa ilalim yung 1, 2, hidden line. Okay? Okay. Sir, paano po yung notation na mas naunang nag-touch sa line 1, 2 kesa dun sa plane? Teka, paano ko nga siya isusulat? 1, 2, tsaka plane. Isama ko siya sa list ng notations natin dun sa tawag dito, sa uble, dun sa ating forum. Isipin ko muna kung paanong effective na ilalagay ito as notation. Thank you for reminding me. Kapag hindi ko siya na-post by today, paki-remind ako ha. So yun. Sir, paano po inonotate po yung ganyan? Ayun niya. So doon ko din siya, doon ko na lang ipopost kasi hindi ko pa naiisip kung paano ko to. Paano kaya to? Alam ko na. Alam ko na, pero ito-type ko na lang. It has to do with distance. So parang ang magiging notation nito, distance, FRP, and point something is less than distance from FRP of another point. So yun yung magbibigay ng visibility. Kung sino yung visible at hindi. Pero yun nga, i-clarify ko siya pagdating dun sa ating Uble Forum. Okay? So let's recap our objectives. After this session, you should be able to recognize real-life problems that require the identification of the point of intersection between a segment and a plane. Hindi ako nagbigay, pero I'm hoping na you already know what real-life problems can be solved by this kind of problem. Sige na nga, magbigay na nga tayo ng example. Basta kailangan mag-i-involve siya ng plane at saka ng isang line na mag-i-intersect. Diba? Tapos, you should be able to determine whether a segment intersects a plane or not. Nagawa na natin yon. Kapag may piercing point, ibig sabihin, nag-intersect siya. Hindi ko pala napakita sa inyo kung paano mangyayari kapag walang intersection. Anong magiging itsura niya? Magbabalikan ko yung slides. Discard. Saan ba ako babalik? Let's say, Siguro dito. Can I check? Kita pa rin ba? Di ko sure kung ano eh. Kung nawala. Kita. Okay. Paanong mangyayari kapag wala palang point of intersection or wala palang piercing point yung plane at saka yung line? So, di ba dito, ang nangyari, nung binaba natin nung drawing natin yung XY sa front view, makita natin na yung XY at saka yung 1, 2 nag-intersect. Kung wala silang, kung hindi nag-pierce yung 1, 2 sa AB, XY nyo could be something like this. So let's say kunyari nandito, kunyari lang no, this is not the right example, pero ang magiging itsura nun, pag pinroject mo, the line 1, 2 will not intersect XY. Sorry, segment 1, 2 pala, will not intersect XY. Or pwedeng nandito din siya. Pag ganyan yung cases, ibig sabihin, hindi na-pierce nung segment mo yung plane na yan. Additional na reminder pala about this. Doon sa example na tinakil ko, I'm pertaining to a finite segment, which means hanggang dito lang talaga yan, at hanggang dyan lang yung 1, at hanggang dyan lang yung 2, and also a finite plane. Ibig sabihin, ito lang talaga yung kinoconsider ko. Ibang usapan, kapag ang tanong ay infinite plane, tapos instead of segment, line. Anong gusto kong sabihin doon? Mas ano to, no? Mas may encounter natin ito pagdating dun sa intersection of planes or line of intersection of planes, pero i-discuss ko na rin somehow dito. Sabi ko kanina, kapag walang piercing point, pwede nga maging itsura pala ng XY ninyo, something like this, di ba? Pag ganyan, wala kang makukuhang point Z, di ba? Wala bang mas magandang view? Ito pala, ayan. Let's say, kunyari, yung XY ko, pag ganito ko nakita, X, then Y. Okay? So, kung ganyan ang itsura niya, ang sinasabi ko sa inyo, kung finite yung plane at finite yung segment, then walang intersection. Walang piercing point. However, if I will extend this plane, let's say, kunyari, an infinite plane represented by ABC, ibig sabihin, pwede ko to extend. Then piercing point will be somewhere here. Siyempre, hindi nyo kita sa ABC. Okay? Pero, makikita natin yung piercing point na yon kapag in-extend natin yung plane, infinitely in all directions. Pero hindi siya gaanong ina-apply dito kasi kapag nandun yung piercing point mo, ano na yung visibility? Diba? Well, dapat, in theory, dapat yung buong length na to magiging hidden, then the rest of the segment sa direction na to magiging visible. So, pinakita ko lang sa inyo kung ano yung case para sa finite planes and segment pag hindi sila nag-i-intersect at walang piercing point. Question. So, babalikan ko yung objectives natin. Determine whether a segment intersects the plane or not. So, yan. Okay na siguro to. Nakita na natin kung paano natin ma-determine. Kapag yung piercing point nandun sa loob ng finite plane, then na-pierce siya. Kapag yung intersection ay nasa labas ng finite plane, then hindi siya nag-intersect. Okay ba yun? Then, locate the intersection of a segment in a plane if it exists. Mag-i-exist siya kapag nasa loob siya ng plane. Okay, nagawa na natin yan. And lastly, draw the correct visibility of overlapping segments and planes. And basically, that's the end of the lesson for piercing point. I'm now ready to entertain questions. Question? I-re-upload ko pala yung file, no? Para mapalitan ko yung maling notation dun sa itong PRP na to. Dapat ito FRP. Ben, gagawa na nga lang, mali pa. Inifortan ko yan, para makita nyo yung 3D. Walang question? Sir, pwede pa ulit yun sa pag-determine if nag-i-intersect or not. Okay. Sige, gawa kaya ako ng, sige, teka lang gagawa ko ng example. Wait lang. 1 minute. Okay. So magta-try tayong gumawa impromptu ng example kung saan hindi siya mag-intersect. Kunyari lang, no? Ay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's say, kunyari, meron tayong plane dyan, tapos meron tayong line dito, and then meron din tayong line dito. Yan. So, kunyari, gusto nating malaman kung may piercing point ba siya o wala. Lagyan natin ng A, B, C. Medyo rude lang yung pagkakagawa, no? Kasi hindi naman siya na-measure. Say something like that. So, gawin natin, gawa tayo ng imaginary cutting plane na edge view sa top view. Okay? So, kung edge view siya sa top view, it will intersect AB at point X here. Right? And it will intersect BC dito. So, X is along AB. Let's say, kunyari, pag pinroject natin yung X, kunyari lang, no? Dito na punta. Kunyari, wag yung i-judge yung drawing ko, Mahirap gumamit ng pen. So, let's say, kunyari, nandito yung point X nung pinroject nyo. Okay? Then, nung pinroject nyo yung point Y, andito. So, yung XY natin, Nandyan. O, di ba? Nag-intersect ba yung 1, 2 at saka yung XY? Hindi. So, dahil hindi sila nag-intersect, ang ibig sabihin nun, hindi na-pierce ng segment 1, 2 yung finite plane ABC. Ayun na yun. Hindi na, basta yung projection na to, yung XY na yan, hindi nag-intersect dun sa line dun sa kabilang view, then they are not intersecting. Therefore, walang piercing point. Clear ba? How about the others? Ganun ba ako kagaling magturo? Wala kayong tanong? Ayan, clear. Joke lang yung magaling ako ah. Yeah, if that is clear to you, then pwede na kayong, wala po bang piercing point, pero apply pa rin po ba ang visibility? That's a good question. Yes, kailangan i-apply nyo pa rin yung visibility kasi hindi nyo sure kung ito bang portion na to, for example, is visible or not, and ito, kung visible ba yan or not. Diba? Hindi nyo sure kung kailangan nyo i-check. Paano yun? Nag-a-apply pa rin naman. So itong Y na to, itong intersection na to, this is the intersection of 1, 2, and BC. Po-project natin siya, titingnan natin kung anong una niyang may intersect. Pag tinignan nyo, BC yung makikita niya. Ibig sabihin, kung BC yung nakita niya, BC is more visible than 1, 2. Therefore, ang mangyayari, this should be hidden line. Ang lalaki nung ano. Hindi. Ganito pala, no? Kapag nag-drawing kayo ng hidden line, meron akong rule sa pag-drawing ng hidden line. Okay? Dapat visually magkakapareho ng distance. Hindi pwedeng ganito ang hidden line. Kailangan visually magkaka-distance yung mga yan. Tapos, dapat laging solid ang dulo. Solid dyan, solid dyan. Ganyan ang pag-drawing ng hidden line. Mag-ano ko, para ma-clarify, isama ko rin siguro dun sa announcements or yung clarification, nilagay ko rin dun sa forum natin. Okay? So, hidden siya. Kahit dito ko i-check, dapat hidden pa din. Okay? Kasi hindi nag-i-intersect. Tapos, similarly, ganun din dito. So, 1, 2, at saka AC to. Pag pinroject natin, makita niya yung AC. Ibig sabihin, sa side na to, dapat hidden din siya. Ayan. Okay, dun sa visibility. So, that's a good question. Regardless kung may piercing point or wala, dapat i-drawing yung correct visibility. And you need the correct visibility every time na meron kayong overlapping planes and line. Plane and a line. A line and a plane o kaya plane. Hindi wala namang visibility kapag line lang, no? So basta may involved na plane tapos may overlap, automatic meron tayong visibility. Sir, may tanong po about MR. You mean MR milestone requirements? Randy? Is it about milestone requirements? Okay na po pala, sir. Nabasa ko na po. Ano yun? Sige. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung tinutukoy mo nabasa mo na. Pero sige. If, Well, technically, tapos na yung lesson natin for today about piercing points. And if you do not have any questions, you may now proceed in doing your plates 11, ano ba to? 12, 13, 14, right? 12 and 13 are about school lines and SD and SHD. Then 14 is about piercing points. So, ulit, apat ang deadline, at apat tuloy, tatlo ang due natin na plate for this week. Pakitandaan lang para hindi nyo makaligtaan na mag-submit ng tatlo. If you do not have any questions, you are now dismissed. You may leave the chat if you do not have any questions. Pero kung may tanong, you may stay. And I will be stopping the recording.